If you could, can you create maybe a range of different fundamentals that you believe would get people into that average or above average that make a great penalty taker? So, yeah, what would be some of your fundamentals of a great penalty taker?
Well, I think I'd have to answer on like different levels. So one, and that's the answer that players I interview will tell me when I ask them, what's the key to your penalty taking? For example, Robert Lewandowski, whom I interviewed for a book. I spent a whole afternoon with Lewandowski talking about these things. And he's, in my opinion, maybe the best penalty taker we have. But others will say the same thing. What's the one key to your performance? Practice. It's it's not more interesting than that. Yet it's revolutionary in some people's book when it comes to penalty taking, because you think that you can't practice this. But for him, it's practice. I practice my technique all the time. I practice the way that I do this, not just the technical aspect of it, but also the mental, the routine, the mindset that I bring. I practice that all the time, and that's the number one. So I'd have to start there, and I guess the second one is, and I've already touched upon it, of course. So the mental approach to the kick is important. So you have to look at this not just as a mechanical kick. It's about dealing with this moment, and to get there, you have to be very deliberate about finding how you're going to set your kick up. What type of behaviors do you have leading up to the kick? How do you get yourself under control? Do you need to do something extra? Do you need to have a certain way of breathing? Do you need to have a certain other type of technique that you can use to calm yourself? People will be very different in these situations. Is this something that you want to do alone? Do you want to do it together with people? Again, people will have different preferences for that, but you're very deliberate about how you mentally, how you want to be in those last seconds before a game. Because we see this now also, maybe we can speak more about that later, but the big trend in football now is that, like I said, they approach this not as an individual act, but as a collective act. So teams will now not only assign penalty takers before a game, but they will also assign penalty taker protectors, because they need that person to be there with the penalty taker in case anything happens. So I guess those, but you also, you need to be in a team. You need to be with a coach. You need to have staff around you who are able to buffer some of the stress and the pressure that goes into this. This is another aspect that I've done extra research for, related to the book, how managers or coaches are communicating right before a penalty shootout. I don't know exactly, how much impact it will have. I don't have a big enough sample that I can give you all the statistical knowledge on that, but I can tell you that it's night and day what people do. Some managers will come into this event and they will look like they just landed on the moon and they have no idea what's happening. They have no plan, there's no preparation. And of course, their confusion and their insecurity and their lack of plan will rub off on the players. Whereas others come into this event and they know exactly what to do. They have prepared, they have trained. There's a clear division of responsibilities among the staff. The players know who's going to take the shots. They know what to do, which is just a completely different type of atmosphere, and definitely adds to the performance of the penalty kicks.
After the penalty shootout last night, Gary Lineker, straight in the studio, said that you would kind of expect the better quality players to come out on top. He said, just as a general, you kind of think that the better quality players are going to get there. And he sort of cited because of their mental strength, their mental fortitude in those situations, and maybe even having been in those situations before. Do you kind of subscribe to that? Do you believe in that sort of statement?
Everything else kept equal, yes. then the best penalty takers, the best players will be the best penalty takers and the best penalty goalkeepers. But, and this is what makes this interesting, I think, or one of the things that make it interesting, is that it is definitely possible to shift the odds here. And I think you need to put less into penalties to shift the odds than you need to put into the rest of the game. But what I mean by that is that if you invest a little bit of time into proper penalty preparation, then you will get more advantages there than if you invest the same amount of time into, for example, I don't know, combination play offensively. So this is David's chance to beat Goliath, and you need to do that. I have no idea what Slovenia had done last night. I saw they got their coach kicked off right before the penalty kicks, which I don't think necessarily was good. But this is the little nation's way to do it. Now, you don't necessarily see that though, because I'm looking at the ones who are in contact with me, for example. I can't go into detail with that, but I see more of the top level teams getting in touch with me to talk about these topics than I see with the not top teams, which I think is interesting and almost a shame, because it's the teams right below the top, right, that you would want to, or you would expect to try to get an edge. But maybe they don't have the resources, they don't think like that, they're not good enough in their planning. I have no idea. But they're not necessarily reaching out as much as I would think.
Hello, you legend. If you've enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy this video right here, which is the full unedited episode. Go on, head up to it. Up there. Go. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll see you soon.